So hello, good afternoon. Today we're going to kind of go back a little bit to what we've been doing with portfolio work. And I have a student website here that she sent me in a PSD format, which is Photoshop document, PSD, Photoshop document. If you need to change the view of your document, this was pretty small, you can always go view and actual pixels in Photoshop. A lot of times it tends to open up and it's pretty tiny, so if you need to ever change the ratio in your view, you can do it that way. What I want to do today is get this ready to go on a website, and I thought about this a lot. There's several different ways of doing it. The website tutorials you might find are pretty complicated. Photoshop has some built-in tools that you can use called slicing. I don't like those tools. I don't recommend that you use them. So I don't know actually anybody in the industry who does use them. Fireworks is a little bit better, but overall you don't want to do it that way. You want to have complete control over what you're slicing and why. Before we start doing anything with taking graphics out of this mock-up, let's take a look at it and figure out what do we need to slice or what do we need to take out of here. Okay, we've got Potter Equipment Company Incorporated case. Now this looks like a very specialty font. It might not be, but it looks like a specialty font that might go to this particular company. I can't recreate that on the web using just a basic font. I need to cut this exactly like this. Okay, that needs to come out as one chunk. But down here below it, I'm looking at this 302 West Industrial Road. This looks like just plain old text to me. And if it's plain old text, we want the search engines to be able to read it. We don't want to take this out as text and all. We want to put this text in afterwards. So in Photoshop, I would simply turn this off. And if I can find the other one. In her text, I will turn it off too. There it is. Okay, so now I have two black boxes, and I'll have to fill in the text in Dreamweaver with regular HTML. But now that's ready to go. Now I have some more decisions to make. Down here, of course, this is going to be a navigation bar, so she's left this blank. I could take this out as one complete graphic. I could take it out as three graphics, a graphic here, and a graphic here. Or I could take it out maybe two. I could cut this here. So I'm going to have to make some decisions, and some of those decisions are going to be how difficult is it going to be for me to work with this. And you know, so I'm just going to kind of wing it. I'm going to take this out, this entire thing, in two different graphics. I'm going to keep the navigation to itself, and I'm going to make this part of the banner. I'll call it like banner 1 in my HTML. So to get this done, I'm going to put Control R on the keyboard, and it's going to bring up two rulers in Photoshop. Now if you're using a different program, I tell you most of these programs are very similar and you can do it. And I'm going to just pull down a line. This is exactly the way I always work, but you know, that's okay. I'm doing it a little bit easier today because I do it in kind of a weird way myself, and it's not really the best way to do it. So I want to show you guys the best way to do it. Okay, now that I have, these are called guides. This is pulling a ruler guide. And maybe I want to be very, very careful about this white space, this negative space. So I'm going to pull some guides, and it's going to let me know where I want to cut out these images. Now I can measure this exactly. I'm going to eyeball it, and I have a pretty good eyeball by now for measuring off things. Okay, so now that these are measured off, I'm going to take my selection tool over here, and I'm going to start up here in the corner. This selection tool is going to want to snap to these rulers. See how easy that was? It just snapped straight to it. Now because she used layers, very good that she did. If you don't use layers, you're going to be sunk. You just have to use layers whenever you're making these website mockups. So I'm going to go Edit, Copy Merged, File, New. If I didn't copy merge, it would only grab what was on the current layer. And I'm going to paste, or Edit, Paste, Control V. And I've got my first slice. And then I'm going to go back. And grab the navigation bar. Copy merged. File new. Hit OK. Okay, and then there's going to be some complications, like, well, how do you get this to repeat? How do you get this to go the full length of your text each time? And how do you get this to be the same length as this on the web page? Do you cut this out and set it in the background? So I think I'll just go ahead and show you how that works. I'm just going to take, oops, sorry about that, guys. I'm going to take a narrow slice of this. I'm going to copy merged. And so I have the repeating black and I have the repeating white. And then I'll go ahead and pull a ruler down. I just want just the crease there. I'm going to grab this top. Okay, so now I have the top as a separate graphic. I have the middle, I have the navigation bar, I have the banner. Now all that leaves is the footer, and I think I can kind of wing grabbing this footer. Take my little arrow keys to nudge this just a hair. And I don't have to do anything much special to it. File new. Okay, there I go. I have all my graphics sliced. In the next video, I'll show you what to do with those sliced graphics.